Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best lenses.
Starting at number 5.
Canon EF 16. If you own a full-frame Canon DSLR, this is Canon's most ideal zoom lens for astrophotography. It may not be as wide-angle as the company's EF 11 to 24mm f/4L USM, but it's an all-important f-stop faster. The maximum viewing angle is admittedly slightly less than the 14mm and 15mm full-frame on this list, equating to 108 degrees compared with 114 or 110 degrees. This lens gains a large and complex double-surface GMO, glass-molded, aspherical element at the front, adding to two UD, ultra-low dispersion, elements and a ground aspherical element at the rear. Upgraded, high-tech coatings include both SWC, sub-wavelength coating, and ASC, air sphere coating, for greater resistance to ghosting and flare. Weather-resistant attributes are extended to include moisture and grease-repellent fluorine coatings on the front and rear elements. The lens is quite long at 128mm, considering that it doesn't have a built-in fixed hood. Unlike with some rival lenses, the separate bayonet fit hood enables the easy attachment of filters via an 82mm thread. Build quality is up to Canon's usual robust L-series standards.
Coming at number 4.
Samyang 10mm. This manual focus Samyang has an astro-friendly effective focal length on crop sensor cameras, ranging from 15 to 16mm on APS-C format bodies to 20mm on micro four thirds. It's available in many mount options, but only the Nikon Fit has built-in electronics. This enables the aperture to be set from the camera. Compared with most prime lenses for crop sensor cameras, this one is unusual in combining a wide viewing angle with a fairly fast f/2.8 aperture. Manual focusing is precise and assured. The build quality feels solid, but there are no weather seals. Performance is good in terms of chroma, spherical aberration and vignetting, helping stars to retain their natural shape across the image frame, even when shooting wide open at f/2.8. Sharpness isn't fabulous, however, but it doesn't drop off much towards the edges of frame. Color fringing can be more noticeable than usual towards the image corners, and there's a fairly typical amount of barrel distortion for this type of wide-angle prime. This lens works well for micro four thirds and APS-C format astrophotography, where the lack of autofocus isn't really a drawback. It's great value at the price. See our full Samyang 10mm f/2.8 EDAS NCSCS review.
At number 3.
Sigma 14mm f. This full-frame prime lens is available for Canon and Nikon DSLRs, and has more recently been adapted for Sony E-mount, as well as the L-mount alliance between Leica, Panasonic, and Sigma. It's a full f/stop faster than most other lenses on this list, and it includes super speedy ring-type ultrasonic autofocus. The wide aperture comes at a price, however. The large diameter elements required are not only more expensive to make, they also result in a comparatively big and heavy build. At least this lens is also big on performance. When we reviewed the lens, we found the image quality to be fabulous, with exceptional sharpness for such a fast aperture lens with an ultra-wide viewing angle. Equally impressive are contrast, color rendition, and the absence of spherical and lateral chromatic aberrations. There is very noticeable chroma and astigmatism towards the corners of the image frame, but go down one stop and these virtually disappear, making overall image quality for astrophotography altogether excellent.
Number 2 of my list.
Sigma 14 to 24mm. Available in Canon EF and Nikon F mounts, this Sigma lens is up against own-brand legends like the Canon EF 16 to 35mm f/2.8L USM3 and the Nikkor AFS 14 to 24mm f/2.8 GED. It beats both of them for image quality and price. Build quality and handling are excellent, with a full set of weather seals and a fluorine coating on the front element. The lens is also compatible with Sigma's optional USB dock for customization and firmware updates. In our review, we found we could produce images with this lens that were nothing short of outstanding. Even at the shortest focal length with the widest aperture, sharpness is excellent across the entire frame, and the lens does very well to retain excellent corner sharpness at wide apertures. Vignetting is remarkably minimal, and though barrel distortion is prominent at close range, it's negligible for astrophotography. Lateral and spherical aberrations are also very well controlled. For full-frame Canon and Nikon DSLRs, this is simply the best ultra-wide, fast aperture zoom lens on the market, and not just for astrophotography.
And number 1.
Samyang XP 14mm. From Korean manufacturer Samyang's XP stable of premium manual focus prime lenses for Canon and Nikon full-frame cameras, this 14mm f/2.4 is the most ideal for astrophotography. The lens is sold as the Canon SP 14mm f/2.4 in North America. The high-quality glass is neatly wrapped in a really solid casing. The rubberized manual focus ring gives a very assured grip and has a long rotational travel with a fluid feel. There's no weather seal ring on the mounting plate to guard against the ingress of dust and moisture. To be fair though, if you're photographing the Milky Way, you'll need clear, dry and dust-free conditions. In our review, we were hugely impressed by how well this lens maintained its image quality when wide open, which is hugely important for astrophotography. It's markedly better than IRIX's rival 15mm f/2.4 Blackstone lens or a Sigma 14mm f/1.8 DGHSM art. Sharpness is both very good and extremely consistent across the image frame. Chromatic aberrations are negligible, while coma and astigmatism are very minimal. Barrel distortion can be visible at close focus distances, but that's not an issue for astrophotography.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.